Chapter 19. Eva's POV. I woke up to a cold, lonely bed. Logan wasn't next to me, but I soon realized from the noise coming from the bathroom that he was still here. I sat up and started rubbing my sleepy eyes when Logan came out of the bathroom. He was fully dressed and seemed to have taken a shower. His hair was still damp. He was wearing black jeans and a black button-down shirt with its sleeves rolled up to his elbows. Being a werewolf really comes in handy. It's winter now, and the weather is freezing. To only me, of course, and Logan still isn't wearing heavy clothes. I don't know why, I still feel cold. And I'm not as strong, but that's maybe because I didn't fully become a gumiho yet. When Logan's eyes met mine, a wide smile adorned his face. "Good morning, Princess," he said sweetly. I gave him a small smile and said a sleepy, "Morning." "I'll be leaving for a meeting today. It might take long. Will you be all right?" he asked as he made his way towards the bed and sat next to me. I nodded my head as he gently tucked a stray strand of my hair behind my ear, making me blush. "I already asked Chloe to get you breakfast. It'll be here any minute," he said, but I quickly declined. "No," I almost yelled. He looked at me in shock, but then scooted closer to me. "Why? Is something wrong? Did she do something to you?" he asked, worriedly. "No, I wanted to have breakfast downstairs today. With everyone and with you," I explained. He looked at me, stunned. Are you, he asked wearily. I nodded my head at him. When Logan told me yesterday to trust and believe him and the pack members, he didn't know that I already did. I did trust him and his family. It's just that I was still a bit jumpy, out of habit. I used to always be on guard since I was 10 and had to flinch from fright that it eventually became a habit of mine. It was hard to get rid of it easily, but I'll still try. Like you said, I have to trust and believe my fellow pack members. I want to be happy, Logan, I explained. Logan beamed at me happily and engulfed me in a bone-crushing hug. "I'm so proud of you, baby girl. You'll be happy, I promise. As long as I live, I'll always make you happy," he whispered into my hair, making me flush deep. He pulled back and looked at me with a wide grin that I couldn't help but return with a smile. "I'll go take a shower first," I told him. He nodded and said, "My mom sneaked out yesterday and went shopping for you. They're in the closet." I looked at him in confusion. Why would she do that? "Go pick whichever you like to wear," Logan told me, as he pulled me out of bed and towards the walk-in closet. This is my first time entering it. "This is your side," he said, gesturing towards the right side. "And this is mine." He gestured towards the left side. "I don't really mind if you choose from my side, you know," he said teasingly. I blushed and turned my whole body to my side. I started going through the hanging clothes. They were mostly wool dresses and winter coats with only a small collection on pants and shirts. I chose a white, plain, full-sleeved wool dress that reached only my mid-thigh. It was cute and comfy. I pulled it out of the rack and made my way to the bathroom after pulling out some undergarments, too. I took a quick shower, then wore my clothes and combed my hair. I braided it to the side, but left a couple of strands loose. I went out of the bathroom to find Logan fixing his hair. His head snapped towards me, smiled, and reached his hand for me to take. I stepped closer and placed my hand in his. "You ready?" he asked. I nodded, "Yeah." And with that, we both made our way outside the room and into the familiar hallway. He led me down the stairs, and we both entered the kitchen. Everyone was sitting inside having breakfast as they chatted with one another. They all stopped what they were doing as soon as Logan and I entered the kitchen. I hid behind Logan, intimidated by their gaze. Logan cleared his throat. "Eva and I decided to have breakfast with you all today," Logan announced, and started to walk towards 2 empty seats. We were stopped midway by Chloe and Claire. They both beamed at me and grinned happily. Claire grabbed my hand that wasn't holding Logan's and started tugging me towards her. "Eva, come sit next to us," she told me, enthusiastically. "Yeah, you're with Logan all the time. You should have breakfast with us today," said Chloe. I looked at Logan, then right back at them before leaving Logan's hand and going with Chloe and Claire. I looked back to see him looking at me with a shocked expression. Chloe and Claire seated me in a chair between them, both as Logan sat on the chair across from me. "I can't believe you actually left me to go sit with them," he said melodramatically. "Oh, you'll get used to it, Logan," Alexis shrugged as she made her way to the seat next to Chloe. "So, Eva, what would you like to eat?" Claire asked me, gesturing to the vast amount of food on the table. I was about to point at the sausages but was cut off by her. "Oh, forget it. I'll just give you everything," she said, and started filling my plate with everything. She finally poured me a cup of orange juice, then smiled in satisfaction. I can't eat all that," I told her truthfully. "It's okay. Just eat whatever you can and leave the rest," replied Alexis, with a wave of her hand. I nodded at her and started slowly eating. Midway through our meal, I noticed a pair of blonde hair staring right at me. I looked up to be met with two of the same person. I gaped in awe. They both smiled wildly at me and said a very cheery, "Good morning," in unison. I was taken aback by them. I heard someone chuckling beside me and looked to see that it was Logan. "These are my cousins, Blake and Blaine. They're twins, and heads up, you can never tell which is which," he informed me. I looked back at the twins. "I'm Blaine," the one on the right said, and reached his hand for me to shake. But before I could react, a deep growl erupted from Logan. Blaine rolled his eyes, but still didn't pull back his hand. "I'm not going to rape her or anything," he said sarcastically, making Logan growl even louder. I quickly reached my hand and shaked Blaine's. Blaine looked at Logan and smirked, which earned him a narrowed eye. "I'm Blaine," the one on the left said, and shook my hand too. I could see why Logan said that we can't tell them apart. They both looked identically the same, and to make things harder, they were both wearing the same exact outfit. Even their scents were mixed together, so we can't pinpoint which is which. But for some reason, I saw that they weren't that similar. They were different. "Okay, guys, we have a meeting to go to," Logan announced, causing all the boys to get up. "It was nice finally seeing you, Eva," I heard a deep voice say from behind me. I turned around to see a man that looked in his late 40s, beaming right at me. I noticed him sitting and having breakfast with us, but he didn't utter a word or introduce himself. I felt Logan come stand next to me and hold my hand reassuringly. I looked at him in confusion, not knowing who he is, but then Claire stood up and held onto his arm. "This here is my mate and husband, Samuel," she explained. My eyes widened. Logan's father, the current Alpha. I quickly bowed down. Good morning, Alpha," I said wearily. He chuckled deeply. "You don't have to do that, dear. I'm like your father now. You should call me Sam," he said. His words made my heart warm up, and I felt like I really am safe and home. I saw Claire smiling beside him, and I smiled in return. "Come on, Logan. We gotta go," Sam said. Logan nodded, and he left. Chloe, do you know what happened when Logan and I met 10 years ago? He said that we met, but I can't remember anything. I asked her with a hoping tone. She gave me a sympathetic smile and shook her head. "I'm sorry, Eva. Logan never told anyone about it. All we know is that you saved him 10 years ago. I sighed sadly. "But you know," she said, gaining my attention, "Alexis can help you with that," she suggested. "She's a witch, so she must have some kind of potion." Her words interested me. Maybe Alexis would be able to help me. Do you know where I can find her?" I asked. Yeah, she's probably in her lab room," she replied. I tilted my head at her. "It's the room next to her bedroom. It's where she makes new potions and all the witch stuff." I even remember her showing me a blue-colored potion and told me that it helps you remember, Chloe explained, and I nodded. Do you know where her room is? She asked. Yeah, Logan showed me around the house yesterday, I said, and got up from my seat. I'll go see her, I said, and Chloe nodded. I left the kitchen and headed towards Alexis's room. The door next to hers had lab written on it. I took a deep breath and slowly knocked, but no answer. I knocked again, but still no answer. I was about to leave, but the door suddenly opened slightly. I looked at it wearily. Typical witch doors. I peeked my head inside and called, Alexis? Alexis, you in there? Still no reply. I opened the door more and allowed myself in. As I stepped into her lab room, I realized how bad this is. I can't just enter someone's room without permission. What if she got mad and beat me up or cast a spell on me? I was about to leave the room when something caught my eye. In what looked like a cupboard sat different types of small colored bottles, and right in the middle were 2 blue-colored potions. I slowly made my way to the opened cupboard and held both bottles in my hands. The first one had the letter M on it, while the other had the letter R on it. I bit my bottom lip, debating whether or not I should drink either. If I did drink, I'll remember the time Logan and I met. I might even remember what my real name was. But at the same time, I'd be using something that's not mine, and I don't even know how to take it, or if it'll work. But also, if I didn't take it, I won't remember, and I'd feel guilty for God knows how long. I decided on the former and kept the one with the letter R, thinking that it meant remembrance. I opened the bottle, and a very enticing aroma hit my nostrils. I hope it tastes as good as it smells. I took a deep breath, and in one shot, gulped down the whole bottle. It really did taste good, like candy. I didn't get time to be in awe at its taste, and I suddenly felt very lightheaded, and all I could see was darkness.